Hey Vsauce, Mikhail here. Where are your colors? So, a friend asked me to color one of her drawings, and I agreed to it. But I asked her if I could also make a video about it, and she said no, but that isn't gonna stop me. Now, before I start, let me just say that my friend is a great artist with a really cute style, and you should definitely check out her social media. I'll put the link in the description. In this video, I'll be showing you how I shaded and colored her drawing from start to finish. This process is different from what I've shown in my other digital art videos, as you will see. I started by making the inside of the line art completely white, and then created a new layer, changed its blending mode to multiply, and alpha locked it so I don't paint outside the lines. And then I shaded everything in pure black using an airbrush, trying my best to make everything look as three-dimensional as possible. At this stage of the process, the main focus is the shading. I didn't care about the colors at this stage, and instead I put all my efforts and sanity into making the shading look as good as possible. By the way, you can see my references in the bottom right corner of the screen. I used screenshots from the website Magic Poser Web to help with the shading and later with the lighting as well. I also had a bunch of other references for the outfit, like her sweater and the skirt, because I have absolutely no idea how to draw or shade clothes in a way that doesn't make them look like they're made out of mud. Going back to my process, you can see me select different parts of the drawing using the magic wand tool and shade that area using the soft airbrush. Later, what I did was I made a new layer and assigned different colors to each part of the drawing so I could easily make selections. These aren't the final colors, they're just there to help me make selections easily, but it will also help me with the final colors later on. I feel like I spent way too long refining this color block layer. After I was done with the color blocking, I went back to shading. During this process, I did not have a specific direction of light source in mind. I tried to shade in the most basic way possible. So the light was coming from the same direction as the camera or the viewer, if that makes any sense. I find the shading method to work best for me, and it's also the easiest shading method I know of. The most challenging part to shade was definitely the outfit. I've never shaded clothes like that before, so it was super difficult. I had very little idea about what the forms look like, but I tried my best. I think the outfit ended up looking like it's made out of mud anyway, but I was not skilled enough or had the courage to make it better, so I decided not to cling to it any further. Moving on to the hair, the less I talk about the hair, the better. If you've watched my previous digital art video, you'll know that I really suck at drawing and painting hair. I'm starting to realize that the only thing I'm most comfortable drawing and painting are naked bald people, which is still something, I guess. I was struggling with the hair so much that I went and grabbed a few more anime style hair references from Pinterest. After I had lost all motivation to shade the hair, I moved to shading the face. This was probably the easiest part to shade in the entire drawing. After I was happy with the face, I made a few more adjustments to other parts of the shading. Finally, I moved on to the fun part, which was coloring. Before I colored the drawing though, I added a filter layer to adjust the contrast of the shading a bit more. And then it was time to color the drawing. So the coloring method I used is super simple and really flexible. I used Krita's gradient maps to color this drawing. I'm not gonna go into the details of how gradient maps work. It basically allows you to non-destructively assign a color to each part of the value range. If you want to learn more about gradient maps, I suggest this video by Mark Burnett. By the way, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. What I'm basically doing now is using my color block layer to make selections of each part of the drawing and adding a new filter layer with the gradient map filter. I do this for all the major areas of the drawing, like the skin, the sweater, the skirt, the bat, etc. It is important to make a selection of the part you want to color before adding the filter layer, otherwise the gradient will be applied to the entire image and we don't want that. For now, I just randomly picked colors to get a feel for what I want the final product to look like. I can always edit the gradient maps to change the colors whenever I like, and that is why I love this coloring method so much. It relies a lot on having pretty good shading, but I think the next step kinda helps mask my not so good shading. The next step, of course, is lighting. This is also one of my favorite parts because it really makes your not so good shading look not so terrible, which is really cool. I learned this lighting technique from another one of Mark Burnett's videos, which I will also link in the description box. I painted the lights on a new layer set to overlay mode. I used Magic Poser Web to create a dynamic lighting reference so that I had a decent idea about what I want my lighting to look like. I still had to improvise a little bit because my subject had a baseball bat and was wearing puffy clothes, but my reference had neither. You can see me paint the light with a super saturated yellow color, but since I'm doing this on a separate layer, I can always change the color whenever I want. After I was happy with the lighting, I went back to edit the colors. This character really reminded me of Naruto when I first saw it, so I definitely had to use Naruto's color scheme for her. And since this coloring method is so flexible, I can easily create different color schemes whenever I want. Lastly, I had to add subtle details like the eyes, eyebrows, and some redness and blush to the skin and other details to make it feel more natural. Afterwards, I added one more light source, fixed some mistakes, and made little changes here and there, but I forgot to record that process. Here's the final version and the different variations of it. The entire process took me around 4 hours, give or take. I could have probably made it a lot better, but I'm lazy. And I also have absolutely zero clue about painting backgrounds, hence the lack of one. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. And be sure to check out my friend's social media links in the description. That's all I have for this video. If you want to watch me sculpt a head in 3D, you can watch that video here. And as always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you later.